Greetings everyone, and Grade here of another Age of Empires 3 replay. Small on the bottom right side is the blue Dutch with Fideell, I think. Spawn on the top left side is the red Aztecs with BlackHorseman. And boy, do I love the Aztecs. Let's see now. Let's take a look and see what natives on the map. We got the Berbers, which of course have access to the Berber Camel Rider, a light cavalry warrior, fast riding camel that terrifies horses. But it's a cavalry and artillery, so maybe a dragoon variant. It says like cavalry, so it's probably a dragoon variant. Berber nomad, a villager that does better with natural resources and does better in groups, not very good at farms. And the salty camel. The salty camel, you can get out a salt mine that has 10,000 coin inside. So you can invest 200 wood into 10,000 coin. That should be much better alternative than the States. Though it also depends on what sort of technologies and cards you may bring on in. And you got the Sufi. The Sufi allows you to get out some Grizzly Bash. I have no idea how to pronounce that, like most names in this game. A heavy Turkoman cavalry armed with a lance and bow, so it's a hybrid unit. So maybe act as a lancer and light cavalry. Can't say the top of my head. It may be a unit that has it's a ranged unit that has good attack. We got the local doggo now being put down by the Dutch. You monster. And we got this eagle. Okay, it's an eagle scout. Nobody's obtained. There's some monkeys here. And now we do have the first card being brought in by the Dutch. He does, of course, can bring in villagers. Does have halberdiers, march significantly more quicker, but do less damage against infantry. So the more close to the pikemen, I guess, the best way to put it. Don't really know the compare between the two. Let's see, less damage against infantry. So minus hand attack against infantry. Okay, there's more of a and increases speed by 20%. That's not feel that great. May need to look like that a little bit closer if he ever gets out on the halberdiers. Bank limit merchants, and so it doesn't get both of those ones. And now of course got town militia. We got wood, coin, pikemen, infantry attack, pikemen, halberdiers, and skirmishers attack increase. It also increases revolutionary sharpshooters. What? Okay. And got the bank. Let's see. And skirmish attack. Okay, so revolutionary sharpshooters are probably considered skirmishers. Sends a bank wagon. You know, let's see. This just increases the bank limit. Doesn't send you a bank. This one does send you a bank. Advanced arsenal, fencing school, religious freedoms. Let's go and just follow these guys around. And of course, we got the church upgrades. We got wood, skirmishers, infantry combat, reartiers, cavalry combat, fort, refrigeration, and Dutch state army. Mercenaries arrive, train, and move faster, but Dutch infantry and cavalry are now more expensive, so it's a double-edged sword. Enables Highlanders in barracks. Oh, not bad. And Royal Horsemen in stables and taverns. Highlanders, they are, I can't remember if they're skirmisher or musketeer variant. I think they are a musketeer variant. Got Tulip Speculation, which actually has some sort of famous event, if I remember correctly, where tulips became so incredibly expensive because of speculation. And Factory. And now let's see what the Aztecs got on for cards. Let's see what native warrior he's eyeing, or not native warrior, I should say. You got the villagers, you got the Calamatic, make the next council member you research or are researching will age up twice as fast. Nice and simple. Villagers wood, infinite gold as well there. Warrior priest, coyote combat, and spearmen, slinger, and 2 war huts. The villagers, more gold, coyote runners, jaguar infinite. Knight hit points, knight attack, arrow knights, skull knights, ritual gladiators, trips 1 jaguar prowler knight for each 2 you've lost, up to maximum 16, so you get some rebate. And Aztec mining, that's a good card, makes your villagers collect coin from mine 40% faster and also makes it so they last 20% longer. It's pretty good, especially with the salty camels available on this map, so that is a good card on this map. Of course, got the more Infinite Slingers, Infinite Jaguar Knights, Night Combat, and Skull Knights. I'm sort of surprised we don't see any of the coin mercenary groups where you also grant some powerful benefits. So I think the Aztec deck is a little bit lacking of focus, in my opinion. No, I guess we'll find out soon enough if he is going to be successful. We do now have a proxy war hut here going for a whole bunch of slingers. We do got a good number of Puma already on the field. We got the warrior, warrior scout, the eagle scout, as well as the explorer now advancing forward. I'm going to put some aggression over here. It does have the warrior priest out on to the community plaza getting some EXP per second. We've got some hussars here. The Puma Spearmen can be very good versus them. Not so much the slingers. Puma Spearmen are, of course, a Spearman variant. They have 41 siege attack, which is pretty good. I've got a good amount of damage coming out of the housing here. The Dutch signed for a wave of militia. Wait, no, that's town militia. These villagers may want to perhaps get inside the town center. The town center is now seeing massive fire. Hussars are pushing over here. They can't do much versus these spearmen. They can do damage for the slingers, which are classified as a skirmisher type. They do bonus damage versus heavy. That's my best way to describe them. And now the hussars are signed for a counterattack. And it does want to get out the militia. I think that may have been both militia groups there. And now they'll get some good damage there. Takes out the war chief. Spearmen now engaging melee. The militiamen do not do bonus damage versus heavy nor light. I don't think they're classified as heavy nor light either. Yep, they're just classified as infantry. And do got a good number of the slingers now being pulled on the field. And so what damage, but he's lacking in sort of military. Do of course have stable back here. Most of all the spearmen have been cleaned up, so the hussars going to get some great damage here. He does want to clean up these forces. Most of the militia has been cleaned up, but I suppose they have diminished returns. These hussars do find the war hut there. Of course, it does have attack, 33 damage. Does bonus damage versus cavalry. So these hussars will probably not be successful there. Let's get some wood here. He definitely needs to repair up the town center. This town center has took a bit of a beat. We've got more Puma Spearmen, no additional villagers for the Aztecs at the moment. So the Dutch have more villagers, of course, has one bank on the field. One bank on the field, so it does have better income. Market going up, very nice. New Plaza Spill probably has that one warrior priest there. In my opinion, you may want to use your warrior priest to spawn up more warrior priests. Because if you get all 10 warrior priests on the field, that does make it so that's basically equivalent to 20 villagers in villager effect. And you can make now, with Indent Edition, your warrior priest very useful. Town Center has not been repaired on up. It probably does need a handful of resources for that. Militia men are going to go down very shortly. They have 1 health remaining, of course. And he doesn't. And now the war chief will be brought back up as well, so we got a little extra force there. The Dutch did not go for any additional defense, so this is a big oversight by the Dutch. He has no defense, so his town center will go down. The town center does, of course, have bonus additional damage thanks to the card he selected. And so it does 135 damage per shot, which is moving enough to one-shot all of these infantry units. You have another bank wagon there, will not be intercepted. Town center does a bit of health. The Pumas only have melee damage resist, so these units will be one-shotted by the town center. The town center is almost down. Town center does go down. The Puma Spear could be focused down by the villagers. A couple of them do bash their blunderbusses there. And hussars quickly go down, of course, because these, of course, are spearmen. Not all the villagers are firing at the moment, and some of these villagers are going down. Another wave of hussars advance forward. These Puma spearmen are a bit wounded. They will be focused down, but the hussars do take a bit of damage in return. More Puma spearmen advancing forward, and will not find the wounded one there. And that one does get cleaned on up. Let's see. This neither player is going for any of the Berber nomads at the moment. They of course are expensive for a villager, 150, even more expensive than the couriers. But I'm thinking they would collect natural resources even faster than the couriers. And looks like the Aztecs now bringing some villagers. The Dutch does not have towns anymore. This group of 5 villagers will put up to 22 villagers. The Dutch right now is 20, so with the 2 banks do provide more than 1 villager income. So they're about, what, 3, 4 villagers, depending what sort of techs you have. So the Dutch is fine in economy compared to his opponent. Probably need an eye for a bit more wood to get out, well, another town center. He does have a bit of population housing to work with. Going for the skirmishers. Puma spearmen are classified as heavy, so they will receive bonus damage from the skirmishers. The slingers are a skirmisher variant themselves, so they'll be equal footing there. Of course, they do a lot less damage, but they do have to maintain the same range. Actually, no, the skirmishers do have 20 range. These slingers only have 16 range. Hussars being brought on in, but of course, expensive unit to lose. Does going to need to focus on the Puma spearmen. Maybe doing a bit of overkill. Each one does about 30 damage per shot with Puma spearmen. So all 5 of them does about 150. So it's only a little bit of overkill. But even then, if he uses 4, that would be not enough damage to one-shot a Puma spearman. So using all 5 to focus fire is actually just the right amount.
Yeah.
He does have an outpost here, so does have a shipment location. Does bring in a cord of wood. This will be enough wood for a town center. A hint, he probably should go for a town center again, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Dutch just bringing in some shipments of spearmen. Very good. Advanced arsenal does not give him free arsenal, nor does the church one provide a church. Infantry attack could be useful, but only applies to melee infantry units and the skirmishers. Actually, no, that infantry attack is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, that had a phone call, and I was another spam call. I've been getting them a lot lately. We are getting some coyote runners deployed in the field. Coyote runners are shock infantry. Shock infantry are basically an infantry variant of melee cavalry, heavy cav. They basically fill the same role. They have the same counters. So those spearmen that we saw earlier, right over here, will be useful versus these coyote runners. Skirmishers, however, will not do bonus damage versus shock. These spearmen need to be over here. They were placed over there for some odd reason, and now he will take quite a bit of damage to the skirmishers. Skirmishers trying to hit the slingers. And looks like the pikemen will go and clean up these coyote runners. Hussar, singular, engaged in the slingers. The coyote runners have gone down. It does clean up all the coyote runners. We now have steel barrel traps being researched. And going around for more skirmishers and more hussars. Huh, that cord of wood he had. He did not go for a town center for it with it, didn't he?
Claire.
He has a couple idle villages there. I do believe he should eye for a town center. His opponent right now is maintaining village production now. He is up to 27. And I hear a lot of smashing the button there, so let's not have him selected. He actually has now a good number of villagers now idle. And right now he does have 20. He does have 4 banks, which is a good number. Which is, if I'm going to assume they reward 4 villagers each, that's basically 16 villagers there, so let's just say it's about 36 villagers. His opponent is at 28. The warrior priest is right there, apparently. So if he is not in the community plaza, that may have been a misclick. It'd probably be a good idea to send him the the community plaza, the fire pit, and make him dance there. The war hut may go down. He's going for more slingers. Let's see. In this age, he has access to the slingers, to the Puma Spearman, and the Coyote Runner. So he doesn't have anything. The Coyote Runner is the counter to the Skirmisher. His opponent has a good number of pikemen, which are heavy infantry, so the slingers are going to be good items as pikemen. The envoy starting to see the fire there does pick up his explorer named Von Nisseroid, whatever that means. The Aztecs right now have quite a bit of gold stored up. He does pull off most of the villagers off the gold. Another reason why you probably should go for some of the mercenaries, because it does not only apply to a good number of units, but also some powerful buffs. The Coyote Runner gives him more ranged armor, if I remember correctly. The Slinger, of course, these are starts in Castle Age. The Castle Age one gives Slingers extra range. And I forget what the Puma Spearman. I think that was made in speed, I can't remember. Now I got the Spearman and the Puma Spearman engaging in melee. The Slingers getting overrun by the Hussars, but the Hussars are mostly down. Got some handful of Coyotes facing forward, trying to hit those skirmishers. The War Chief is hitting the skirmishers as well. Coyotes getting some good damage on the skirmishers. Pikemen trying to respond to them. Does have a shipment available. More Coyotes being brought on in. And looks like the Aztec force is starting to fall back. He does have a handful of Puma Spearmen to engage the Hussars. And the Coyotes are still hacking apart the skirmishers. I'm sort of curious. Let's compare the Puma Spearmen to the regular Spearmen, if there are any of them left. Doesn't appear to be any of them left at the moment.
Commando?
Yep, so we can't exactly compare the two. We do have some more Spearmen now on the build queue.
Commando?
Spearmen. There are, of course, 120 health, 5 hack armor, bit of speed, good siege attack, 9 damage, 2 attacks or 2 range, and good attack speed in comparison to the Puma Spearmen. Puma Spearmen, they have 125 health, which is, I think, slightly more. Hand attack is a little bit higher. They don't have the 2 range, which actually is important. And they have the same attack speed. Of course, cost 45. Versus the Spearmen. There they are. Spearmen, of course, 40. So the Puma Spearmen are more expensive. They have less range, but have more health and damage. So, pros and cons. Of course, pikemen only cost wood rather than gold. It's actually a bit of a negative for the Dutch, because they have, of course, banking systems. And with tulip speculation, those banks get an increase of 25% additional gold, making basically worth about 5, maybe 6 villages worth of gold income.
Commando?
And looks like now he's putting some villagers there onto the wood collection, probably for more spearmen. You want to make sure he has a counter to the Coyote Runners, which those shock units, those protective skirmishers. Coyote is advancing forward. He does not have the card to give him the camouflage ability. Which, if he had that ability, explores around this region, so perhaps he could have snuck up on those skirmishers. Slingers, or of course his own skirmisher variant. He has to use Honestly, at this point in time, the slingers are not going to be very useful. They're just sort of there. They're good versus the pikemen. Coyote is now engaging, trying to overrun these forces there. Of course, they are going to get hit, sniffed, and targeted by the spearmen. They're overrunning the hussars and the skirmishers. Those coyotes are hitting the spearmen will go down. These coyotes are hitting these skirmishers quite well. This force over here does get cleaned on up. And now I've got the Coyote Spearmen and the Coyotes trying to hit the skirmishers. These Coyotes are being picked off by the pikemen. He needs those slingers to hit those pikemen, but they're hitting the skirmishers. It looks like the Aztec force will lose his army there. Those Coyotes runners will be picked on off. Puma Spearmen now being picked on off as well. Slinger gains some more damage on the skirmisher. And the Dutch army has took quite a bit beating there, but of course the Aztec army has gone down. Dutch looks like it's really eyeing for wood now. He has enough for a town center, I would say go for one. It's currently at 18 villagers. His opponent is at 41. I think he took the economic advantage. He does go ahead and bring in the Jaguar Prowler Knights. You can get a handful of them in age 2. Oh, wait, no, he's already age 3 as well. So you can bring another 4 of them as well. Jaguar Prowler Knights you can get a batch of 4 of them in H2. A cast Fortress Age unit in H2 does cost what 450 food, which is a decent price for them as well. Their cost 120 each, times it by 4, which is 480, but only in food, so very convenient and affordable. More Coyotes deployed in the field. Jaguar Prowler Knights, they are a heavy melee infantry unit. And they're good versus cavalry, good versus shock, and very good versus heavy infantry. So they would be good versus the pikemen, that's it. Of course, good versus the hussars as well. When it comes to the Aztec noble units, they tend to not follow the traditional paths. Their war hunt units have comparisons to other factions, but when it comes to the noble units, they're not really comparable. I think Jaguar Prowler Knights most likely could be best compared to halberdiers, but I don't think halberdiers... No, halberdiers do bonus damages versus heavy infantry, don't they? I can't remember off the top of my head, actually. They do offer good health as... Not a whole lot of damage resistance, though. Coyotes and Jaguar Knights advancing forward. The Jaguar Knights need to hit those spearmen. Coyotes are going to need to focus on the skirmishers. Jaguar Knights trying to pursue the spearmen now. Good split. More Coyotes runners pushing forward. The Jaguar Knights are ripping apart those spearmen. Coyotes are overrunning the skirmishers. Oh yeah, they also benefit from promotion now. I forgot about that in DE. And with that, the Jaguar Knights convince his opponents to lose, to back out the game. Not to lose. That's more or less the same. This is Great saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay.